You're watching Saki Chronicles.
Geez, if Leon would just seal the deal already, I'd be able to put him on this list.
Why'd you call us, Barry?
Yeah, I had things to do with my kids, as I'm sure you both do too.
Gonna finally have that intervention, huh?
I noticed that the orange jumper matches your orange face you fell on. At least I show my kids some support every once in a while.
Yeah, like I'm gonna take parenting tips from you.
Well, it's good to know you're both in the fatherly spirit, because just like for Mother's Day, I've made a list for the top 5 fathers of Resident Evil.
You what?
By yourself? Without getting our opinions or anything? That's not like you, Barry.
Well, since some idiot can't.
Stop breaking the law!
You're too busy either being in court or doing whatever the hell Joe does on a daily basis.
Drooling in his wheelchair?
I can't hear you behind those bars.
Shut the fuck up!
Is that going to cost me extra money?
It's not like we weren't going to agree on this shit anyways.
I guess we'll see, won't we?
Without my consultation, this will probably be the worst list in the history of lists. Probably ever, Barry.
Well, tough shit. So here we go, starting with Albert Wesker at number 5.
Greetings.
What the fuck?
Oh damn, right out the gate with throwing the king onto the bottom of the pile.
Things are really getting interesting now.
Are you serious?
Are you guys really going to sit there and bitch at me about this? His fatherhood was thrown into canon for no reason other than to keep his name relevant.
Albert Wesker was a colossal imbecile. He was also your father.
If anything, acknowledging Wesker as being a father puts such a bad taste in the mouth that it only makes sense that he's at the bottom.
You're a bit of a mess up.
I guess that's true. I mean, I can't imagine him going out and tossing the baseball to Jake. He did the old Palpatine pump and dump.
My grandchild.
Pump and dump? Fucking really?
Unnatural.
I hate this. I hate that he's not on top where he belongs in any list he's on, but I hate it more that you're right. When it comes to fathering, he's just terrible. I mean, shit. The guy never gave his son a single birthday card.
This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
Or a small loan as a startup, right, flop top?
Or a pardon from jail, huh?
Back on topic, Jake himself even expresses his own feelings for his father, which is more than enough to lock in his placement.
You know, I thought dear old dad was just a deadbeat who skipped out on us. No. He was actually a freaking nut job who almost destroyed the world.
Please, the less we mention that bastard, the better.
For real.
He lost me.
Perfect use of slang, Donnie, which is exactly why the iconic Daddy Wesker sits at the bottom with a father rating of pretty much 0.
Do as you wish.
Fucking 0? Really?
Seems a bit harsh.
Stop it.
Yay!
So, this isn't some Disney film where the villain gets that sympathetic pass, so suck up your tears and.
Let it go.
And now, to continue down the line of former umbrella workers, we have William Birkin at number 4.
See, now this fuck up is who I originally thought was going to be at the bottom.
Thanks a lot, Capcom. If you hadn't made Jake's mom have a summer fling with the best-dressed psychopath,
I can give you what you want, but you got to come home with me.
then Wesker wouldn't have this shitty blemish.
Best dressed? The motherfucker wears his.
Sunglasses at night.
Stop fucking up my list, you idiots.
Well, next time include us, you fuck.
As I was saying, Birkin comes to the table with almost as little responsibility shown for his child as Wesker did.
Almost? The man only cared about his precious G-virus and nothing else.
My precious G-virus.
In fact, it seems to be the only thing he created that he's really willing to die for.
She is my creation!
The only thing I ever made that was any good.
Gee, thanks a lot, Dad.
You're welcome.
This is ridiculous, Bear, and you know it. Sure, Wesker's a deadbeat dad, but how the fuck can you sit there and say that Birkin is higher than he is when Birkin is actually trying to either kill his kid?
You need help. He's right behind you.
Or worse.
Sherry's been implanted.
I hate to say it, but I agree with Donnie. It is shown in both the OG and remake that Birkin is a particular danger to Sherry specifically.
First off, the virus itself is forcing him to do that. Secondly, it can be argued that what little personality he had left, he used to protect his daughter from Mr. X.
Right before trying to get to Sherry.
Again, the virus.
You're making me do this, Barry, but if this is the only way to get to you, then
So be it.
it's a known fact that the G virus forces its host to reproduce using G embryos. But for the best results, they must come into contact with someone of the same bloodline. Annette herself explains it to Claire in the OG.
The bodies of individuals with non-related genetic coding are likely to reject the embryo. But since Sherry is his daughter, that possibility is non-existent. That's why he's after Sherry.
And you know who else would know that? Motherfucking William Birkin. The guy who created it and spent every Father's Day for years working on it.
I refuse to abandon my work. I have finished the research on the T-virus, but I need a little more time to complete the more powerful G-virus.
And the same motherfucker who purposefully injects himself with it.
What you're implying is a stretch, Don.
Ironic coming from you.
Fuck you.
He hits himself with that special G out of spite, you idiot.
You don't get away that easily.
And if you really want to go down that route, then Wesker's still worse because he was going to infect the entire world with his virus and rule over the leftovers as a god, his son included.
The entire world will be infected.
The Birkins had no idea that Sherry was even there. They thought she was at home.
Why didn't you stay in the house? It was safe there.
Not to mention that Annette also slips in there that both the Birkins taught Sherry to call the police, so there's that for William.
You should have called the police. That's what we taught you.
Which is really the only reason he gets a 2 on the father scale.
It just doesn't make sense.
Fine, fuck it, I concede. Wesker is the worst dad.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put him at the bottom.
I hate you so much.
Moving on to yet another father forced into DUI. We have Jack Baker at number 3.
Well, now, look who has decided to join us.
DUI?
Dad under infection.
Cringe, Barry.
Nah, I think it was good.
As we stated before, Jack Baker was a quiet man who apparently owned quite a bit of property.
Yeah, no shit. The Baker residence is gigantic, with even having a smaller building as their guest house, for Christ's sake.
Lucas and I are going to have a look around and see if the storm did any damage.
I see where you're going with this, Barry. Jack even says that he's not a real monster.
I'm no killer, son.
Exactly. His true self is what we see in that vision, as well as the first 20 seconds of the DLC. Jack is shown to be caring and loving when he needs to be. A man who has ambitions of turning what he owns into a place for travelers to rest.
Always wanted to go to bed and breakfast.
Got your big break, didn't you?
What do you mean by when he needs to be?
Yeah, I picked that up too.
Well, there is that part in Lucas's note that says his father slaps him around and gets drunk before tossing all his shit away, which may have been a gateway into him not wanting to.
Go back to how things were!
Yeah, that is pretty shitty, but then again, Lucas was a shitty kid anyways and needed to be disciplined.
We'll put her in Lucas's old room.
Oh, come on, can't you put her somewhere else? Oh, Lucas, you just hush. You've long outgrown that room.
Wake up and smell the shitty coffee, Zoe.
Lucas.
Mom, Dad, I accidentally set fire to the living room rug. I am not going easy on him.
And don't forget, there is that part in Lucas's journal that says he trapped that kid named Oliver in his basement, and it's implied that he died. Pretty sure Lucas killed him like some Children of the Corn shit. But since you never find the body up in the attic, then it's most likely Jack cleaned it up and covered for his boy. So most likely that's the reason for the discipline issues.
Well, he did treat Lucas more harshly than he did with Zoe. Case in point, the dinner scene. Without hesitation, he takes his frustrations out on his son immediately. He doesn't even try that shit with Zoe. It's even shown that he drags Lucas off.
Game over.
Playing favorites.
I like to think that, much like Marguerite, he uses the last remnants of his sanity to turn the blade onto himself rather than on his little girl.
I can agree to that. The man had flaws. He was in no way a saint, but he also loved his family the best he could.
True, which is why he's at 7 on the father meter. Moving on to our number 2 spot will be controversial, but fuck it. It's my list, bitches. Ethan Winters.
Daddy won't let those weird fairy tale monsters get you.
Really?
Are you out of your mind? He even has an achievement named after how great of a dad he is.
Calm down, guys. I promise to explain. Just be patient.
This is why you shouldn't do these lists alone.
Ethan is a phenomenal father.
Yes, I know.
Ethan goes round 2 against some horrific shit in order to put his daughter back together again like some fucked up Lego set.
Also true.
Can you even imagine the heartache he must have gone through the night he thought Mia was murdered and Rose was kidnapped?
It must have been terrible, yes.
You're being really fucking glib about this shit.
Look, to be completely honest, there's nothing wrong with Ethan's fathering. The man puts everything into it, 100%.
No shit he does, even when he's fucking dead. His literal consciousness does everything it can to help protect Rose.
Yes, but not to detract from the Ethan cheer squad we got going, but for some fucking reason he calls himself Michael instead of who he really is. Was that simply for our benefit? Because why would he keep it a secret from his daughter?
An obvious plot twist. Like Jill under the mask in RE5.
What a twist!
Or the young man is Marcus in Zero.
What a twist!
Or the entirety of Revelations.
It was okay.
No, it's most likely so that he can keep hiding from Miranda.
Get away from my...
Again, I am not arguing with you on his abilities of being Rose's dad. Humpty Dumpty was put back together, so to speak.
Little grotesque.
Valid, though.
What I'm saying is this. Is what Ethan does enough to make him the absolute best father in the franchise?
Explain, Barry. Because you're talking about a man who sacrifices himself for his daughter.
Exactly my point. He was cut down before we could see what fatherhood would be like for him. We never get to see if he grows to become either like Jack did, or like our number one is. Chris, Leon, and even Jill are the heroes of this franchise. And yet we still get to see them fail and go into dark places because of those failures.
We really going to reference the CGI films?
They are technically canon.
Bottom line is I appreciate what Ethan did, but even though he died while Rose was still an infant, it wouldn't be fair to say that he's the best dad in the series without having his mettle tested with some serious parenting shit. So the best I can do is put him at 9 on the father scale.
They're there.
Even though I'm sure there's a flaw in there somewhere, I don't see it, so I have to agree, I suppose.
Maybe if you ever sacrificed anything for your kids, you'd understand.
I'm about to sacrifice 10 minutes of my day to kick your wrinkly ass back into the nursing home, you hair-sniffing puppet.
Now I actually have 2 dishonorable mentions, so we'll start with Steve Burnside's dad.
No.
Dope. I love ragging on this fucker.
Oh, come on! He's barely even in the game and not even alive.
Yet there's enough information about him to know that he was such a shitty father that his greed got his family imprisoned, his wife dead, and his son fucking hates him.
Tried to steal information. He was caught. Mom was killed. And we were sent here.
It's no wonder his own son plugged him. This dude isn't winning any Father of the Year contest, that's for sure.
Father!
Which brings me to the next dishonorable mention, Alexander Ashford.
Jesus is code V like village or something? All the shit dads clumped into one?
This dude artificially created Alfred and Alexia, and like a true shitty dad, favored one over the other. He got what he wanted with Alexia and threw Alfred away like a Spartan with a blemished baby.
Well, that's not entirely his fault, Barry. He was just trying to make a true successor for the Ashford name, but had no idea he'd get twins. Why waste his time with the other one?
Wow. Fuck ton of shit started making sense just now.
Yeah, you would defend the guy who manufactures genetically superior humans.
Hey, if it works, you know.
It's making more sense why Evangelion is your favorite anime now. Let's go ahead and move on to our actual honorable mention from the remakes. Robert Kendo.
You're supposed to know something. How did this happen? Huh?
Oh, hell yeah. This dude is only on screen for like 4 minutes, but it's more than enough. He's practically the father version of Jessica Trevor, caring for his daughter and wishing he could have protected her from the virus.
It was a great idea to put this side of him in the remake. It's much better than the OG version, whom I'm still convinced is just some weird guy that came across the gun shop.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
All right, guys, let's move on to the number 1, which at this point shouldn't surprise anyone. Dario Rosso.
What?
Bullshit.
Fucking what?
What do you think you're talking about?
Nah, I was just making sure you were paying attention. The actual number 1 father is, of course, Barry Burton.
What the hell's going on in this place?
It's an obvious placement, I agree, but I am more interested in hearing why you chose him over Ethan.
Yeah, Bear, I'm all ears.
It's not that hard, Don. First, he obviously loves his daughters, hands down. He would do anything to keep them safe. Anything.
Oh shit, he's right. He really would do anything for his family.
I hear that his better half and 2 lovely daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
Seriously, Bear, the evidence you're going to start with is how he betrays his fucking friends?
You goddamn right. This list is for top fathers, not top best friends. In fact, if Revelations 2 hadn't even come out, then he'd still only be known for that slight stain on his reputation.
You gotta love Barry.
I can already hear the rabid fans typing on their keyboards.
Be careful, Barry.
I know you are going to get on me about questionable actions parents do for their kids when you were trying so hard to defend Alcina's crimes. Yes, he betrays Jill to keep them safe, but regrets it immediately.
Forgive me. Even if it meant my family, I couldn't bear turning my back on my friends again.
But it's his entire campaign in the second Revelations that shows exactly why I consider him number one. Just like with Ethan, his only mission is to find his daughter. However, unlike Ethan, he's actually told that she's dead way before he even begins his search.
Moira.
That's right, using his
very particular set of skills.
He puts on his best Brian Mills impression and goes off to find her. Dude does not even care that she may be dead.
That's true. I can't argue against that. Even when the both of them are going through a falling out, he's still being a dad.
Which is the exact reason why I feel that he's father of the franchise. I'll break it down. We learn about the rift between him and Moira.
Polly had an accident.
Was it Moira's fault?
No, it was mine.
That his own daughter nearly killed his other child, which is some family-breaking shit.
Sorry, I don't do firearms. Not after what happened.
And it's shown on multiple occasions that Moira hates her father.
Do me a favor, and don't put Barry and me in the same sentence. I'm so sick of men like him.
You mean men like Barry?
She even joins TerraSave in spite of him.
Fucking Barry. Every time I ask him anything, he pushes back. I wouldn't even be here if I listened.
Moira was half an argument away from getting a tramp stamp and visiting the local college football team. That shit's for sure.
It's shown he's remorseful for his part in the rift.
I guess I never really got around to taking the blame.
He vows to avenge Moira when he thinks she's dead.
I am gonna wreck this island for what it did to her.
And in the end, they reconcile. See what I mean? His mettle has been tested as a father, and he didn't give up. Yes, Ethan fought through hell for his daughter and paid the ultimate price, which is what a father should do without question. But in the end, I just have to give it to Barry.
Shit, I concede you're right, of course. Barry risked everything to protect his girls. Then he has to endure one daughter nearly murdering another and going through the years of chaos that it brought. Must have given him at least 3 new ulcers.
She definitely gave me an ulcer every time her millennial mouth fucking opened.
Another one of those walking shit stains. Sorry, I mean butt stains.
What?
And you know what we do to butt stains.
What the fuck?
All of that. And we still haven't touched the fact that he keeps Natalia safe, protecting her as if she were his own, which later on she becomes one of his family.
That's some Lee Everett shit right there.
Which is why he's the perfect 10 on the meter.
I have this.
Okay, Barry, I'll admit it turned out all right.
Of course it did.
Actually, if we're clear to do lists, then I got an idea for one.
Top 5 girls whose hair smells nice.
Happy Father's Day,
How
everybody.
about top 5 prisons, which
We'll
have an
see who's
excellent gym
laughing when I
program
get
for rich and
conjugal
entitled
visits
fat
from
asses?
your wife.